You are live, it says. How exciting. All right, you are live. So we're live, me and Jack, Rain, and we are going to be, welcome to the weekly. We're going to try to do this weekly, right, Jack? The joke writing party is where we get together and we just take a fresh concept. And by the way, anybody who's watching, and there's nobody watching yet because there's Mandy Moorhead probably got frustrated and left. Well, they're not there. What happened? Um, she was right on time. So I don't know what happened with YouTube. It said, did it delete? I didn't delete it. So somebody must have deleted it or something happened with YouTube. And I'll probably listen to the ecosphere out there and find out that there was a glitch with YouTube. Who knows? Doesn't matter. We're here now and we're going to be writing jokes. And what was interesting is you had pitched to me this idea, this dating app topic. And I was like, way to go, original, Jack. Like nothing more people talk about than weed is dating apps, right? So it's like, yeah, smoke a lot of weed, dating apps, swipe left, bro. Right. So it's like, oh, way to be original, Jack. But anyway, it's a common thing. So here's one of the dilemmas we run into as comedians and writers. Every piece of material you talk about should be relatable, right? We should be able to understand and recognize what you're talking about. Otherwise, we don't care, right? So if you look at Louis C.K. or anybody who performs, they're talking about stuff people can relate to. And so sometimes sometimes I watch people try to go so original that nobody knows what they're talking about. And so how are we going to laugh at the jokes and recognize the situation? Like one of your laughter triggers in comedy is recognition. If we recognize something, we laugh. When we watch Kevin Hart work, he uses mostly recognition laughter triggers, talks about things we've recognized before. He does act outs. We recognize the situation. You can do an observation with recognition, like when George Carlin says, if you take a crumb and you cut it in half, do you have two crumbs or two half a crumb? We know what crumbs are. We can relate to that. It's a common thing. So it has to be common enough that we can relate to it. It's your angle and your point of view and your approach to it that makes it original. Like when CK talks about visiting his parents in New York and going to the little town they live in and standing in front of a drugstore window and then looking into the window and seeing a wheelchair, right? How many people can see that image in their mind's eye? Right? You can see it in your mind's eye. It means you can relate to it. You've seen it before. And he's like, I don't think that's really an impulse buy. Because it's like, if you're standing there unless you need one, nobody's going to look at, I got to get, you don't window shop for that. It's like, you don't look in there and go, hey, I need one of those. Right. So it's like, but the concept's interesting and it's something we can relate to. And it's an original approach to a premise. Right. So, trying to do something that's so original it's going to backfire. Hey, Jack, can you zoom in on that? Maybe I need to do that since I shared it. Take that
Yeah.
doc and zoom in on it a little bit.
Oh, I don't know how you zoom in on the dock.
Yeah,
I,
I'll get in there and do that by zooming in here on the doc.
oh, yeah. There we go.
Now we can see it. Now I'll get in there and see how this looks on the screen. Okay, now we can see the doc a little better. We could even probably get in there a little more. So for the smaller screens, let's see, go to 175, see what happens. There we go. That's a little better. All right. So dating apps is the topic, right? So you had a headline. What was the headline? Why dating apps are such a scam?
Yeah, why are dating apps a scam?
And what did they say?
This was just a random subject that came up from ChatGPT, and I thought, ooh, that's actually an interesting topic to talk about. It was totally unrelated to what I was asking it. That's how good AI is.
Yeah. So that's the problem, right? And a lot of
But I
comedians are.
branched from that with a different, totally unassociated idea with this. I was like, oh, this would be good to brain up.
Yeah, so that's good. So it's a topic we can relate to. And what was the stimulus that brought you to that conclusion that would be a good topic to bring up?
Just because to me it's evergreen content, which is like it's something that's going to be around for a while. People do talk about almost like every day, like, oh, dating apps, ugh, I hate it. But everyone uses it. That's the irony. People hate it. They don't need to use it, but they do anyways.
And people are finding so people are finding using dating. I see it's something I can't relate to. I'm a headliner. I don't need dating apps. It's so stupid, but it's still funny, right? It's like one of the things is see the thing that gets me is with dating apps. What I do is like I like to when I first start with a topic, I like to go, okay, how do I feel about this topic? And I just express the facts of how I feel about the topic. That sometimes gets me to the first part of what I'm going to talk about. So it's like for me, dating apps. You said dating apps, what a pain in the ass. You get burned out on them, that sort of thing. You look at what people are going through. I just basically said what I said. I've never used a dating app. I'm a headliner. I don't need a dating app. So what I'm saying with that is I get out and meet a lot of people at once because if I step on stage and there's 300 people in the audience, there's a lot of people and all of their eyes are on me. And that sounds so weird to talk about because from the point of view of a comedian, you're supposed to talk about your obstacles, right? And so, but that's just the situation. You're on stage. I remember when I first started in comedy, I was confused. And I remember talking to this guy, Sam, who was a bartender at the restaurant I worked at in New York. And I'd be like, Sam, I don't get it. Last night I did a mic and I go in there and I walk in the room. Nobody wants to look twice at me. And I don't care. But as soon as I step on stage and then get done in 10 minutes, everybody wants to talk to me. And he says, I don't know whether they like me for me or they like the person they see up there. And so to me, that was a big issue in my head. And he said, maybe you're more you up there than you are in person. He says, meaning they get to see 10 minutes of you and get to understand you and get a look at your heart and your soul while you're up there on the stage. If you're being authentic and honest, unless you're playing a completely different character, they get to see you and they get to know you in that moment. Now, there's more to it to that because if you make somebody laugh, the moment you make them laugh, just the idea of them laughing physiologically, the body releases dopamines, right? It releases the same basic chemicals that are released if you fall in love. So and it's also the same chemistry as if you shoot heroin. So it's like you're getting a sense of euphoria. Now, if we could just take somebody's blood while they're in the middle of a laughing attack, I bet you we could sell that blood for a lot of money because that would create euphoria on that injection, right? So in that case, people like you because of that, right? So so that's an interesting thing to know. So when somebody says, I don't need a dating app, I'm a headliner, what I'm trying to say with that, people get to know me faster in that 10 minutes than they would if I was on a dating app or that sort of thing. The other thing I think about is dating apps to me seem so like antithetical. They just work against each other because dating is a very personal experience. It's a very personal human experience. Getting to meet somebody, making eye contact with them, getting a feel on their vibe, their groove, who they are, the energy that they release when they talk. And then you're like, and then trying to do that through technology and duplicate that through technology somehow by going, "What's up?" It's like that. That's your opener, dude. Sup, right? So for me,
It's like you were there on my first date.
Right? It's like, or some of these guys, I've seen some of these like younger kids take, they'll meet a chick and they'll just hand them their phone with the contact form open, basically saying, key in your number, babe. It's like, really? That's how you do it? It's almost like a cold call. It's like you might as well put a form on the internet and say, get instant access to connecting in love with this one weird trick. Right. So, but you see what we're doing with this idea in dating apps now, as I'm riffing through this concept, I'm actually including a second idea. What is this like? And it's like, and I said, it's like you might as well put a form on a web page, hey, connect with this dude, using this one weird trick. And basically it's a form that has your name and your phone number, and you pop it in there, and then you get an automated call, right, following up. Hey, thanks for submitting. Here's instant access to my heart. So it's like, and how if you said something like that, it'd be like swipe left. So in that case, or if that reminds me of a joke that we did when Bernie Sanders said he was going to have his own dating app for Bernie Sanders. Or he didn't say that. They were coming out with a dating app for Bernie Sanders voters, and I thought that was funny. The first joke that came to my head was swipe left or far left. And then both James Corden and Stephen Colbert did the exact same joke in back-to-back nights. I was like, why would you go to that joke? That's the first thing that popped in my head. That's like low-hanging fruit. So you don't want to, you put it on the page, but does it make the final cut? You're not sure, right? It's still a funny joke that it works out. So in this case, I riff it out first. I talk about how I feel about it, because your feeling is where your angle comes from. What's my angle? What's my point of view on this joke? And it's like, and that just comes from you talking about it. I don't get it. I never liked dating apps. I thought they were weird, right? I think the closest thing I got to that was AOL chat, chatting online. And I felt weird in that scenario. I was like, nah, I'm not hanging out here. Instead, I'd go out into a club. I'd go out into a spot. I'd go out and do the Improv or the Laugh Factory, or in Vegas. I spend a week in Vegas, do shows there, and you meet people. You go out on the road. That's where I met the most people. I mean, that's where I met my first wife. I love saying that. I met my first wife waiting tables, right? She was stunning. And she walked in the room and I go, that's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. And say, if I can get rid of her husband, I might have a shot. So I went up to the table and started talking to her and cracked her up a little bit. She cracked me up. She said something. We obviously had a connection. And so then she came in solo after that. And I asked her if she wanted to go out for coffee. And then, so it was a very personal interaction. You can probably do the same thing on dating apps, but it's like, you don't get to meet the husband. So I think in that case, Jack, are you listening? Are you having any feedback?
I'm listening.
So give me, just rip your feeling without trying to be funny. Give me your truths about dating apps and not your funny about dating apps.
For me, I don't find dating apps very helpful. I think it's
wait a second. You have a girlfriend?
Fiance now.
Oh, really? Congratulations, man. Congratulations on your ultimate doom. Well, you're talking about me. My wife filed for divorce on Valentine's Day last year.
Awesome.
So right, that was our power move right there. I go, man, that was brilliant. I said, if I was to do that, we both agreed to end the marriage, because our counselor said, I've been counseling you both for about 20 years, and your marriage is the perfect example of when you really want to have a truly happy marriage, you should first start by ending this one. So it was like, but we agreed, and she filed on Valentine's Day. I go, man, that's a power move right there. And so I said, for me, I would have probably filed on Independence Day. But so you have a fiance. Where did you meet your fiance, Jack?
Ironically, Bumble.
There you go, hypocrite.
But there is a reason why I used a dating app. It was because COVID. The only time that a dating app is actually necessary is when you can't actually you're not supposed to physically come in contact with somebody. Unfortunately, we totally hit it off, and I just moved into her place after the first week of dating. But
wow,
yeah,
that's either risky or desperate one there. Well, you were homeless at the time, so you needed. Yeah, if we're a great premise for a horror movie, exactly right. I think that's a great start to a horror movie. You can almost see that play out in the plot, right? Mm-hmm. You get to meet somebody, and then you move in with them within a week. Everybody's going, don't do it, right? And she winds up being the killer, or do you wind up being the killer?
Maybe she ends up being a huge fanatical cult leader, Hence why I moved in so quick. She's got
Yeah,
the
maybe so, right? Yeah. I was just watching a documentary on a cult last night. Now, while we're bringing this up, this dating app scenario, you last night were on, I saw you do a live, you did a live, and I saw it pop up in my feed. And so
yeah.
I went to check it out. And the first thing I looked at was the time, and it said 15 minutes. Yeah, he bailed. And then and so I clicked play, and I was watching you go through trying to find a way to write jokes about dating apps, and you were doing the listening technique. And I was like, all right, he's missing one thing. I think I put in the chat in the comments on that thing. It's
You
like
did.
the basic description or definition for joke is two dissimilar ideas converging,
Yes,
right?
I did
You are
not have.
missing that second idea. What's it like?
Yeah.
So now if you do the analogy or do a side-by-side comparison, or when you start, so once I introduce a second idea of meeting people in person, and the way I met people in person was by performing. So that was, then I could then I can have the difference, the work those two ideas. If I listed stand up and I listed dating or dating apps, I can come up with, it's like, when basically asking a woman out is a setup, and then her answer is the punchline. It's like with my reputation, my dating situation goes like this. I ask them out, and then they immediately file a petition for divorce. So it's like that's kind of how that works based on my reputation. And that part of it is the reason I do that is comedy, is because I spend too much time focusing on comedy. I remember one time I was having sex with a girl, and she said, Jerry, every night you seem to be able to get up on stage and do stand up, but tonight you can't get it up for me. And I go, hold on, let me write that down. That's good. Right. So it's like, you don't care because it's like you're more wrapped up in the comedy than that. But anyway, so the idea is dating app is a mechanical or technical experience, and dating is a very personal human experience. So that there's definitely dissimilar ideas happening right there. Like, what can you do on a dating app that you can't do on the first date? Probably finger it, right? Because you're at least you're using your fingers somehow on a dating app, right? So what else? Give me something else. Just ripping off the top of your head.
Using it as a vibrator. Keep
Yep, there you
DMing
go.
me.
Keep DMing,
Ah!
right? Exactly, right. So that's good. So it's dating app versus personal dating versus technology dating, right? In that situation. So it's like, first you gotta, what's the process in dating? You go up and meet somebody and say hello, and you try to get their number, or maybe see if you guys hit it off or have a groove, and then you see if you can maybe do this again. Where in dating app, first you have to download the app.
Yeah,
Then you have to decide whether you want to pay for that subscription. Or I think they give you a 30-day free or something like that, or 7 days free, right? I don't know. I think a lot of those apps give you something free.
yeah.
So then if you're running into a block there, you look at facts about dating apps. You found, why are dating apps such scams?
Mm-hmm.
So now that's a premise because it's got two ideas converging: dating apps and scams.
Scams. There we go.
So it's like, it's like, I don't know why people think dating apps are scams. I mean, you're just trying to date somebody. I say, next thing you know, they're trying to hit you up for money, right? So there is a lot of scamming that goes on in the dating app world, from what I understand. So so I like to you look at research, right? First, I'll look at a fact about how people define a dating app. So dating apps are widely used, especially by younger adults, with Tinder and Bumble being very popular, although users often face challenges like burnout, ghosting, scams, and privacy concerns as apps collect
Yeah.
and sometimes sell user data for advertising. So a lot of these dating apps, that's their goal, is to be able to sell their data to third-party companies that spend a lot of money for data, right? So it's
Yeah.
like,
Why would you go through all that effort when you could just meet the person and get mugged?
exactly, and you said mugged. That was good to keep it nice and clean rather than go to more violent or opportunities, right? So in this case, you have um, So the other thing I'm looking at is like they offer convenient access. It's like that's the thing. If you're not even like in a dating app, if you're not even willing to do the work at the beginning, where your biggest effort is swiping left or right, I'm like, how involved are you going to be in the relationship? How well are you going to water that garden? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like
Mhm.
that's my concern because I've never used a dating app. I don't know much about them. I heard of them, and it's like, Plenty of Fish. I've heard of that. I've heard of J Date. I've heard now I'm looking at some of the list here. I know about Tinder. I know about Bumble, Hinge. I think my son met his fiance on Hinge, so it works there, right? Match, Plenty of Fish. I remember looking at the commercials. There was one, I forget what it was. There was one app, and that app had something to do with scientific dating. And it says, we are our science matches you with your perfect match. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. What kind of science are they using? Then Christian Mingle sued them because Christian Mingle said you can't say you can create a scientific algorithm to match somebody. And it's like, and so they sued him for that. And Christian Mingle's slogan was, find God's match for you. So it was like the obvious convergence of science versus, creationism happening right there in front of our eyes with a dating app. Are you kidding me? If you can say we can find God's match for you, who doesn't even exist, then hey, how are you going to say that? Say you're going to you can't find a scientific, you know, match for somebody. So it's like it would seem more we find God's match for you. You mean the guy who lives in the clouds? It's like to me, it's like the relationship is going to be in the clouds. That's right. I say it. I'm an atheist. It's like that's one word they use. Logical is the other word. I think, and so that's me. It's like everything's sort of foundationally based. I don't disparage anybody who goes spiritually and believes however they want to believe. But it's like I'm more of from the George Carlin school in my approach towards religion than I am and it's like I don't like. I think a lot of that shit is. I see hypocrisy there all the time. So are you gonna now? If you're now, let's talk about dating. What's your preferred dating app, Jack Rain?
I would probably say Bumble, just because with Bumble,
That's kind of how you go through life.
that reminds me of the script I wrote too.
Hey, wait,
Bumble,
we have a joke now. So it's like
yeah,
if I was on a dating app, I would probably choose Bumble because that's kind of how I go through life. Right there, it's
yes,
a self-deprecation joke, right? And now and it was based just on the word Bumble. So you took the name of the app and we're able to get a joke out of that by starting with a premise of like, are dating apps really scams? Because if you just look at maybe a fact, what is the ratio of people who actually have successful relationships and marriage based on these apps? I heard it was pretty good. What
yeah.
maybe we could find out by a reliable source, Gemini,
Also,
because I used to look up a fact on Google. Now they just send me the Gemini, although I can use there's a way to be able to bypass that, I think. So if I was like, what is success ratio with dating apps? And is one more successful than the other? Okay, 1 in 10 partnered adults meeting their significant other on meeting their significant other on one, and about half of users finding experiences positive, though many report negativity too. Success hinges. Is that a product placement right there?
yeah. There we
Hinge,
go.
right? Success hinges on good profiles, photos, authenticity, hobbies, managing expectations, not just casual, and often requires a blend of app use with real world social effort, though fatigue is common. All right, there's a lot of data in one paragraph. It's like partnered couples. About 10% of married or committed adults met their partner through dating app sites, rising 20 to 25% for younger under 30 or LGB users. This is LGB in this description here. I'm sure they meant LGBTQ, but maybe just LGB. According to Pew Research makes me think that that data stinks. Hello, haha, silly pun. Hashtag dad joke. Woo. Where's the sound effect for that, right? User experience, 53% of users report positive experiences, while 46% report negative ones. Sounds like a political campaign. So 53 to 46, with men and women and different demographics having varied views.
Are you using
So
Gemini for this?
I am, yeah, I just did a search, and Gemini, of course, shows up first, right? And it gives me links like Reddit, Forbes, YouTube, Mashable,
As resource.
Pew. So it's like LinkedIn, long-term relationships. Some estimates suggest low percentage of long-term matches turn in meaningful long-term relationships, 2.5%. So wow, if you had a success rate for a product you bought that was 2.5%, would you still get on it and use it?
Most likely not. Unless you're trying to be a bachelor for your whole life and say, "Hey, I tried."
I'm looking at some of the comments here, because this is going to be, because again, this is like why are people not joining, bro? It's probably not out there yet. What happened was our first one way, I promoted a little bit last night about it, but for some reason we got on today, and it was it said, has this live been deleted, so from YouTube, and so there was a little complication there.
Also, another thing, on the vertical side of things, our faces are tiny little itty bitty. But so you'd have to like change the I don't know what the heck that thing's called on StreamYard.
All right. While you're thinking, Mandy writes a comment, and she's always got good comments. And I saw she was like one of the first ones here. It's like, I guess they're at lunch. She says, joke writing symposium would be better than party. Symposiums are always funny. Parties are only sometimes funny. I like that. We'll test that line out there. Symposium. That's funny. Did you know that? And then Oliver says, I was going to hop on VR, but I saw you're live. Oh, we're he's not on anymore. He left already. But
yeah, probably got back on VR.
Probably we weren't getting to the jokes fast enough. But this is about you struggling with this concept yesterday, and then trying to get you there by finding that secondary idea, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times when I do this stuff, I already have the list up on the page to sort of make it more efficient, because the listing can take a little time.
Gotcha.
But in this case, we're approaching through feelings first and riffing out the feelings. Because a lot of times I think when people start writing their jokes, they can't find their angle because they haven't expressed how they felt about it.
Yeah,
so
at the very beginning, they're mechanical.
So Mandy writes, did you know there isn't a term for smelling with your mind nose like there is for seeing with your mind's eye? There isn't a word for that. Isn't that called olfactory experience?
I thought that was India. That was
no, olfactory, because of the feeling like that olfactory experience, meaning you get that sensation. But I think that's the actual physical. You're right there. That's a really good tip there. It's almost like an observation, a Carlin type observation. It's like there's no, like, when you see with your mind's eye, that's an imagination of that picture you just defined. But if I say to you, what is that word that says that, if I say to you, my mother used to bake these Toll House cookies, and when you smelled them, the moment you walked in the door, you smelled them, and you can almost feel that sensation. There's also a more crude one where I remember being on the road with this comedian, and he farted while we were in the car, and it smelled like Toll House cookies, and I was like, that was the worst, but the best and worst experience at the exact same time. So, and then he turned up the heat in the car. I was like, oh, you fucker. So I think that's, so it's like dating apps are a scam, because the main course already comes with soup and salad. Dating apps, because the main course already comes with soup. What do you mean by that, Mandy? Cool how no people are joining. Yeah, it's funny. That's funny. It's like, and it's like, and I learned that with lives. It's about consistency. The more people get used to it. When I was doing these solo, I usually have about 99 or 100 people on a live. So it's like, but now it's starting because maybe it's the idea of me working with somebody else is a new concept, but it's still, as the consistency comes out, I'm sure it will pick up. It's like,
YouTube favors consistency over perfectionism.
and that's just the algorithms have changed too over the years as well. I used to do some lives and they were pretty popular, but now we'll see, we'll see what happens. Watching the sausage be made, a lot of people aren't into that. They're into watching the polished, idea come out. So this is only for, I would say, less than 0.1% of people. Because if you're a writer, if you're a consistently good comedy writer, and you're out there and you're making a living writing comedy, I wrote for Leno for 8 years, and I read a stat that said you're less than 0.1% of the world. And it's like, oh, one-tenth of 1% of the population. So it's like not a lot of people. It's a very small niche. It's like finding the people that, let's see this, next week, we're going to do a live on finding, that relates to people that collect tungsten. You know what tungsten is, Jack Rain? I figured you wouldn't.
I know tungsten lights as a filmmaker.
Yeah, tungsten is the filament that's used to create light in an electric light. So finding the right consistency of tungsten, and that sort of that light will survive, have a lifespan. So on dating app, you finger everyone once. Nice, that's good. I like that. I think that Akbon had that one. Nice joke there. It's like Jerry asked them out on a date, and they eventually ask him out of a marriage. Nice. She used the mirrored phrase there. Very nicely done, Mandy.
Oh, I
right?
got something.
Asked him out on a date and asked him out of a marriage. Nice job. Good mirrored phrase there. What?
I just thought in my head, like, where else can like dating apps go? What's the opposite of a dating app? Divorce apps, where people just like, I don't know, what would that look like? A divorce app?
It's called lawyer.com, lawyer.ai, lawyer.io. All right. So it's like, so that's good, right? Divorce app. It's called, welcome to process server.
You want out too, right? This is it's called pull out.
So Keith has he's getting ass. He says my preferred one is offenders registry. It's a lot more likely they'll pull out. Good. All right. Nice. That's not bad. I like that. That's funny. It's like, I love your content, man. Keep it up. Big love from Somalia. Hey, thanks, man. As the Farsif. That's I love names that I'm not familiar with. First of all, the challenge of pronouncing them is fun, right? And then it's like, and then you find new names all over the country. Like one of my good friends, her name is Paz, and it's her real name is Upasana, and she's from South Africa. And it's like, but originally from India, and was raised in South Africa, Upasana. But she's like, what a great name. And her nickname when she came to the States was Paz. So like seeing cool names is fascinating to me. Dating apps are like betting apps. Oh yeah, there you go. Nice analogy. Just start with, see that analogy right now. We have those two ideas converging. May our brains start running through possibilities right away. So it's like, so this is Luchads, and he said dating apps are just like betting apps, just guys ruining their lives in slots. Funny. Nice job. Nice job. I like that. That's good. That's a nice, using that secondary idea. Is this actually live? RN.RN? What do you mean? I'm not sure what that means. Yes.
Right
somebody
now.
said yes. Right now. Oh, yeah. See these texting shorts, man. I got to learn this shit. So it's like, yeah. So Paul Johnson.
We're here to put stuff out and learn at the same time.
And learn it and have fun doing it. And that's the key. It's like, because you were beating your head against the wall when I watched that live video you're doing.
Dude, it
together. By the way, you're wearing the same outfit, just so you know.
God, this is it was blue red and yellow. I made sure this time. I was like, ooh, he's gonna
Yeah.
try to call me out if I
I
wear the
like
shirt
when you're
red.
like when you dress in your crazy colors. That's like your persona,
Thank you.
it's like, and I can't wait till you get your hair back, man. Oh, by the way, I've got all right, I'll be right back. You just keep talking.
Okay. Oh,
I've
I
got
know. I
surprise for
already
you.
know. I already know what you're gonna get. What's up, guys? Hey, what's up, Lena? Let's see. Appetizers. You said serve tables. Let's see. K24607V. I came for the cookies. Oh, I always come for the cookies. God, I want some cookies last night. Ugh. Toll House, man. Damn. Wait, I did. I got cookies today from Trader Joe's. Sugar cookies. Lena says, "Hi, Jerry.
What's up,
Love you
bro?
live." I knew it. Yeah.
That's me, Jack
Oh,
Rain.
yes.
I'm just like,
That's
no,
so
check this
good.
out, bro. I'm like, I've got some jokes on writing. I'm trying to write some jokes on dating apps.
Oh.
And let's see, we're going to do a list dating and apps. That's a good start. And then scams, scams like the Nigerian prince. And he's gonna like he comes and tries to get like like he's like tries to scam you like, hey, give me 5,000 and I'll send you 1,000,000. Yeah. Hey,
I
look,
remember
you
the last
Jack
time I
Rain
had a
wig
scam.
on,
I thought I was
bro.
having
That
mushrooms,
works
but it turned out
totally.
to be
That's
acid.
like we got two Jack Rains. Like, so
Man.
anyway, so it's like that's when I first met you, dude. You had your hair, it was like all, and I was like, whoa, dude, you remind me of my character, Charlie Stone. So this is like, so I think that like, dude, this chick comes up to me. She's like, dude, are you a Christian? And I was like, I said, no, I'm a Hinduistic, Catho, Christi, Muslim, Mormon Jew.
Whoa,
Yeah,
I had the same issue. She was like, "Are you Christian?" I was like, "No, my name is Beach Bum Bob."
the beach bum Bob. It's like I don't want to miss out on heaven because of a technicality, So I'm everything. So anyway, so that was anyway, I'll get rid of that. Go back to being me. You can be you if you want, and then I'll but it was just like
Yeah,
had to
that
do
was
it.
fun.
I had to, had
I
to do
loved
that.
it. That was so cool to see. I was blown away because it was red. I was like, "Oh wow, that actually matches the skin."
Yeah,
Because
yeah. It was like I went and got
yeah,
that because I wanted to do this sort of like I had this kind of like
you looked like a distinguished, polished version of Carrot Top.
right, in a way, right now I see it now, I look back at it, but I used to tour, and when I would tour, I introduced this character called Charlie Stone, and I liked him so much that I started to go on the road, and I would open as Charlie Stone, 30 minutes of Charlie Stone doing sort of philosopher type material, and she had a chick come up to me and said, "Dude, do you do drugs?" And I was like, "No, I don't do drugs." And she's like, "Well, how did you get this way?" I was like, the 405 to the 101, just like you, duh, right?
Yeah.
And so it's that kind of very simple truth type of jokes. And so that was a fun opening character to do. And what I
Mhm.
found was interesting. So I do 30 minutes of him. The MC would come up and do 5. And then I would go change into my blazer, black t-shirt, black slacks, black shoes, just sort of like the George Carlin look, come out with my bald head and go, how about a hand for Charlie Stone, ladies and gentlemen? He's a lot of fun. And people loved Charlie Stone because Charlie Stone's character was so well defined. And after the show, I would do an hour and Charlie Stone would do 30. After the show, even if I got a standing ovation because I did socio-political material, if I got a standing ovation, people would still come up to me and say, "Where's Charlie Stone? We got to meet Charlie Stone." And in my head, I'm like, "Fuck Charlie Stone. He didn't just do an hour. He didn't just get standing ovation." But in the same time, what was that saying to me? That his character was so refined and so identifiable and so playful that people felt like they wanted to connect with Charlie Stone. And so I was like, wow, that's a fascinating learning lesson, right? So, so I might bring Charlie Stone back as a fun character to give sort of that third person stoner point of view to the world. It's an interesting filter. Like, how
Mhm.
would Charlie Stone solve a problem? How would Charlie Stone solve his dating dilemmas? Weed, dude, and a couple of edibles, and you're good to go, right? So it's like, so I think that was a fascinating look. that also opened up this idea to me in joke writing. So when I was like acting and studying acting, my dad was a pretty good actor, and he was he had a very successful career as an actor. He was a very good coach to me, and he basically said sometimes when you're trying to find the key in the dialogue or in the script you're reading, you can't really find that magic sweet spot where this character lives. Try it as different characters, you know, put
Hmm.
on a wig, put on a uniform, put on something because you take on a whole different persona. And it might open up just one line that now makes you connect to that character and you understand where this is coming from. And so it was a great way to think about jokes too. So sometimes if you're running into a block, do it as a stoner. Do it as if you're drunk. How would I respond to this if I was drunk or high? Right. So, like, if you want to write Mitch Hedberg jokes, pretend you're on heroin. See, and that's kind of not fair because when I first met Mitch, he wasn't really getting stoned all the time. He wasn't high all the time. He was a little bit, but he was working on his sobriety. Then as things progressed, you know, he had some serious anxiety, performance anxiety. So he started leaning into the drugs more. And he was also making more bizarre connections in his writing. And it was starting to really hit. So he started to lean in even more to that. Right. And so I was like, I wanted to, so
So you got a message from Wolf Pred. He says, I
somebody,
don't have any social media and I've been trying to work in modern dating without it. Any tips or ideas?
yeah, man, the tips
Jokes,
are like,
not dating advice. Haha.
right. And not, what did you say?
He said he added on jokes, not dating advice.
So I don't have social media. I've been trying to work in modern dating without it. Any tips or ideas? Um, yeah, yeah. Uh, Not using dick pics as the opener. Right. It's like, you don't send a dick pic with, hey, heads up. Hey, heads up, I'm in town. Right. It's like, so maybe start with top 10 things not to do when you first meet a chick. So that's a great, I'm
Also,
assuming Wolf Pred
if
is
you
male.
were trying to start out in dating social media, I know you're trying to do modern, but one of the best dating apps I heard was called
He said he
Hinge.
doesn't have social media, bro.
Oh, he doesn't have social media. Oh, that's cringe.
He does, obviously, because he's on YouTube. Right. So maybe he's just on as a guest, but that's a great tip. It's like any tips or ideas. What this is now, he just introduced a new angle. Well, how would you do it if you weren't on social media? So you now have the premise of dating apps, and imagine trying to apply dating without any kind of connection to social media. How does that now affect your life?
I would
Right.
say, yeah.
I would say positively. The way I like to date then, if I didn't have any other skills, I would go to the bar, at the Rio or at the Palms, and the dates just come to you. They cost a little more than a dating app, but they come up and flat out say, "You want a date?" So it's like, or you want to go to your room and party. So that's another idea I would suggest. That works. So I remember after shows at the Improv in Vegas, I'd just go to the bar to talk to the bartender and have a couple of beers or something. And there would always be that hooker, and you knew they were a hooker because they give you the hooker look. You know what the hooker look is, right, Jack? Any look that
Huh?
gives you that lasts more than 1 second, because women will not look at you for more than 1 second unless they're hookers. So, or
Or
they know
laugh.
you already. So, I think that's a way to approach that. So, because it's a fart, it's like it's because the fart joke. Yeah, that's funny. You said you serve tables. Oh, thanks, Mandy. Appetizers. You said you serve tables. I get, yeah, tables. I get it. I came for the cookies. Good. Going back to the Toll House cookie fart joke. That's good. Loving the live. Hey, thanks, Lena Alva. Good to see you. Swiping on a single mom is weird way to watch their kids grow up. Proud of your yellow belt, Tyler. See you next week. That's funny. It can be a dating divorce app. Both one and the same. What would the Yeah, that's a great idea. What would be the name of that app?
What is it?
Yeah, a dating slash divorce app at the same time.
Yeah, that's get in, get out.
So get in, get out. That's funny. Maybe we just call it maybe just the in and out dating app, right?
Oh, even
It's
better.
like,
Here we go. Here we go.
yeah, go ahead.
Prenup.
What?
The app is called Prenup.
Oh, great idea. That's good.
You
It's
already know
like
what to expect.
yeah,
And
I
so
thought
you're
you said
swiping
Trina. I thought you said
prenup,
Trina.
swipe left or swipe right.
I said I never talked about my second divorce. How did you know Trina? I never had a second divorce. This one's coming up is my second divorce. So it's like so that's funny though. Prenup. That's a good idea. That's a good joke, right? Did you write that down?
Let me do it right now.
I was just coming up. I thought about just coming up with a dating app that jumps right to the breakup. I'm going to call it prenup, where you basically exchange information and then you just wait until the process server arrives at your door.
Swipe left for prenup or let her take everything.
it's like, and how much does that app cost? 50%. Yeah, I've heard of. I heard it. So Coil. Is this who's Coil? Do we know each other? It's like Coil. I know a guy named Doyle. Coil's cool, but yeah, I've heard of Charlie Stone from a la carte. Happy to finally see him. Oh, that was good. Somebody got actually. Charlie Stone has some lore. What do you think of that, Charlie?
Yeah,
oh, bro.
awesome. That's so cool.
So dating apps are like fishing in Oklahoma. Lot of catfish. Oh, nice, Keith. Very clear. Nice. A lot of catfish. That's good. A lot of Good. Very good. I like that a lot because actually, in looking up the facts about dating apps, that was one of the facts was that a lot of people aren't who they say they are. So that's really good. I like that's a real clean, clear, crisp, tight joke. Nicely done, Keith.
You know what? An app, a good dating app that so it doesn't feel like a scam would be called like Unhinged, where you don't list your positives and your fake positives. You just lay out all of your weaknesses, all the things you suck. So that way, people are going through and like, yeah, sure, I'll take them. That's not so bad.
Get the disappointment out of the way early.
Exactly.
That's a great idea. That's a really good concept. That's a good piece to talk about. Maybe even a sketch.
And damn it, you just took the words out of my mouth.
Definitely. And it sounds like an SNL sketch called what's it called? What did you call it? It's called Disclaimer. What is it?
Unhinged.
Unhinged.
Yeah.
I like that better. Unhinged would be better for a good sketch like
from
an
the
SNL
makers of
sketch.
Cringe comes
From makers of Hinged. We also have Unhinged.
Yes,
that's where you basically your profile is all your shortcomings and disappointments.
Yes.
And it's like so that's good. And it's like you can look at it and go, that's not so bad, and you get the disappointments out of the way right away. How would you do
that? And then so it's like, oh, not so bad. And then the first date goes like, hey, I feel really good to open up and say I just got out of prison. You're actually taking a chance on me. By the way, give me your car and your keys and your money. It's very intimate and sweet. And then
so Tiab says, how much Tinder or wood do you have? That's good. I like that idea of it reframing Tinder as wood. Right? It's like basically I think Tinder pretty much says it. It's either spent or it's just kindling. It's like I didn't start the fire, but it's a good way to start the fire. But we'll have to call in a second to finish. We'll call in a substitute to finish. I like that idea. That's good. Tinder sounds like kindling. Can you apply grinder to the stones so a mate will have to have proper tools? So I'm not sure what you're intended to mean by like, can you apply a grinder to the stones so a mate would have proper tools. I think I see where you're going with that, but it needs a little clarity, I think. How much catfish can you provide for us? So I see where you're going. All right, you're riffing. That's good. Keep coming up with ideas. Dating apps are a pain in the ass, dude. Undownloaded. Yeah, that's funny. Dating apps are a pain in the ass. And I just, he deleted Grinder. That's funny. That's it's like the difference between dating apps and gambling apps is that with gambling apps, some
Oh, wait,
win.
I guess I had a gay my gay buddy. He didn't like he
Your
hated.
gay buddy. That's what they call a partner in prison, dude, buddy. So
Hey, don't
I
talk
think there's
about
more
Earl like
going on
that.
than we think.
Don't talk about Big Earl like that. Um, we shared lots of intimate moments. Hey, I was his bitch, and he kept me protected in the showers. He also every once in a while offered to put head and shoulders on my body, which I was like, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna turn down like the extra hand." Anyways, crap! I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn. Go ahead.
I was just
Go
looking
ahead.
back at Wolf Pred's a comment. I don't have any social media, and I've been trying to work on modern dating without it. Any tips? And let's see. So he doesn't have any social media.
So he wants modern day.
It's like well,
modern,
you're probably one step better than me. I don't have any social skills. So that could be one way to play that wordplay thing with social media versus social skills could be a way to approach that. And modern dating, I'm not sure what you mean by modern dating.
so
It's like
like so
because
excluding like
dating
social media.
apps would be modern dating, right?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Is that what your intended meaning of modern dating is? Modern, modern dating seems to be getting a girl's phone number and texting sup.
Sup,
Like if
bruh.
that's your opening. I've seen this a lot with people. That's so funny. That's the biggest complaint I think from women is that. Here's an idea: get Cosmopolitan magazine and subscribe to it. You want to get the other team's playbook, and you want to find out what plays they run, so that you can have your own approach. It's like you can basically, it's like football. You got to be able to, and you're running back. You got to be able to find the hole.
Here we go. I got it now. I remembered. My gay buddy, he disliked Grindr so much he decided to go straight and use Tinder. Because Grindr is the gay version of Tinder.
Yeah, my screen didn't freeze.
Hello?
I'm just giving you a deadpan look. It's like I like the idea. I like the idea. There's a better way to execute that, I think. And it's like so he didn't his gay buddy didn't like Grindr.
So he decided to go straight on Tinder.
Or what if he's like Grindr was such a bad experience? My gay friend went straight.
Yeah.
So that could be like he changed his entire sexual preference just to it's like, would it be better if he went to Bangkok and got a transition, had his dick cut off? That would be like he didn't like the experience of dating on Grindr so desperately. He went to he had a sex change. That would be like the most ultimate refute protest against it. Oh my god, I just cut my dick off because I didn't like my experience on Grindr.
And like 5 years later, like, yeah, not really feeling the dating life.
I want to get a reverse.
Yeah.
So that would be wild, and it's not disparaging that choice or that that discovery of who you are. It's just like, what if that happened? Right. So a lot of people, once we start talking about trans or you're talking about gay, immediately they take the stance of it's an attack, right? Because that's the way our society has been groomed lately, is to look at it as just an attack. And it's like, don't blame me for what you got going on in your head. We're trying to, make jokes through a love through line here. We don't hate anybody.
People are being groomed out to be social media aggressive pit bulls.
Well, it's easy to be aggressive when you have anonymity, because anonymity is the cloak of a coward, right? And so you're able to go hide behind this anonymity, and you have no problem saying you're a fucking loser or whatever. But you would probably never say that if you're in a face-to-face full frontal,
Well,
because it's like, you're afraid of the ramifications of that, and it's just rude.
well, I
So
remember one time I coughed. The society is so sensitive. I remember one time I coughed and someone was like, "Oh, you're racist."
Sounds
Racist. What?
sounds like dating apps are Amish with you. Amish? Is that what he meant to
Amish,
say?
Amish. Yeah,
Like, what does
Amish.
that mean? It means like, I don't use the
He's
technology
replying to
sort of thing.
someone else.
Oh, okay, got it. No, you say heads down. Heads down. That's funny. That was from the heads up joke earlier. Pro tip: keep your amateur tip in your pants. Good, Mandy.
Yeah, that was
Man,
good,
way to
man.
go. She always has good ones she quips in there with. The difference between dating and joke writing is that you don't want to show how the sausage is made when it comes to dating. You had me all the way because I'm thinking when you're writing jokes, you don't want to show how the sausage is made. So when you got to with dating being the last word, you pulled the rug out. That was funny. That was nicely done, Coyle. They need a dating app with only crazy women and call it unhinged. Oh, I like this approach. They need a dating app with only crazy women and call it unhinged. Sounds a bit sexist
Yeah, it's a bit
because
of
I
a
think there's probably more crazy men than there are crazy women. But the
100.
men's insecurity says the women are crazy. If a woman says, "Hey, dude, you're way too aggressive. You're just a crazy bitch," right? That's how dudes respond, right? You need to
Yeah.
behave when we're in a social setting. You're just a crazy bitch. That's how guys respond because guys have the Y chromosome. They're 80% more likely to be violent than women. So it's like right away, we know that men who's involved in the road rage, really,
Oh yeah.
right? 99% men, very, very small amount
Big.
of women. They're there, but it's a small amount. A lot of it has to do with testosterone, right? Think about that though. Men, that's all rage. That's all testosterone. That's all hormones that causes us to rage, to have that fucking rage. Like I
Yeah.
used to do a joke, and the joke was, you ever walk out of a men's bathroom in a nightclub and you see your girlfriend making out with another dude? You know that rage that just fills your blood, that rage, I mean real rage that could make you like take that dude and throw that motherfucker off the balcony and not feel any remorse for about 6 seconds, and you go, "Oh shit, what the fuck did I do?" And in that moment, that's rage, that's all created from hormones. Think about it. Women have 400 times the hormones men have. 400 times. We're like they're holding it together at all, right? And we complain about women crying at work, maybe because they care, you know but
Yeah.
it's like the fact of the matter is men, find that truth, peel back the layers, find the reality of what's happening there. Don't go with the surface. That's the easy thing, to go pick on a woman. And remember, the rule of comedy is give us a reason that that woman's crazy before you say she's crazy. And once we have that, now at least we understand there's reason or recourse, because generally a man picking on a woman is punching down. It's in our society, so women are still the fairer sex. So in
Yeah.
this case, if you find a reason, that's why every time I do a joke about an ex, it's the ex who cheated on me.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately in the storytelling, she's the antagonist or the perceived antagonist right away. Like my
Yeah.
ex who cheated on me. I mean, having sex with her was a lot like working out on the weight bench at the gym. I always had to wipe it down first because I know a lot of guys were there before me, right? So that becomes funnier because she's the ex who cheated on me, not just the ex-girlfriend or just the girlfriend or having sex with a woman, right? So in this case, it's the ex who cheated on me. So I think that's the one thing to remember when you're telling your stories. Give us a reason she's crazy. Like I dated a girl one time, my wife, there was a joke I had. I was just doing some joke writing exercises. Top 10 reasons you know you're dating a woman who's dumb, or blonde type jokes, right? And it's like, which is an easy target, but it's still fun little exercise to do in private. So I was like, top 10 reasons, she thought capitalism was texting in uppercase, right? So
Yeah.
that's the line I had. And I said, where can that fit in a story? So if you think about storytelling, storytelling is about something is usually imposed on the hero by an outside force. Something is posed by on the main character by an outside force. So a lot of times that could be a question. That's why we see a lot of he said, she said jokes. My therapist said this, and your response is that. So I couch it in a story. So my wife and I were having a glass of wine. She said, we've never really talked about exes. Why don't you tell me something about one of your exes? I go, that's a weird question. So I said, I'm going to say something that doesn't threaten her. But of course, I wound up stepping in shit anyway. I was like, I said, well, one time I dated a girl. She wasn't very bright. She thought capitalism was texting in uppercase. And she goes, that mustn't have lasted very long. I said, 6 years. She was hot. And I was like, so I wound up getting in trouble for that anyway. So, but the funny thing is once it's couched in the story, there's a reason for it happening. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I hope it does. Jokes. So anyway, let's look at some other comments. What do you say, Jack?
Yeah, let's look at them.
What do you got? Read me some.
Yeah, we got was this one already said by Mandy Moore? There are two types of swingers: those who are totally into it and those who are absolutely not, and use the cup chair for noose. So much for no strings attached. Am I right? Is this thing on?
Is that from Mandy?
Yeah, that's from Mandy.
She's always funny. She always makes me laugh. There are two types of swingers who are totally into it, and those who are absolutely not and use the cup chair for a noose. Oh, that's funny. That's you got to if you understand the cuck situation, that's hysterical. So much for no strings attached. Am I right? Is this thing on? That's funny as hell. That's good. That's good, Mandy.
There you
Uh,
go. And we got Abe Dalwasi. I wonder if I said that right. A dating app for guys to sit in a circle and do nothing for hours. I call it Stonehenge. I get it. Because think of how they look. It's a bunch of dudes.
yeah. Okay, do nothing. Just stone like stoner hinge, right?
No, I think
Because it
Stonehenge.
do
Like,
nothing for hours. I think that's an implication that guys just sit around like get stoned.
oh, I thought that was the
But if
thing
I'm
of the.
trying to unpack too much,
I think
then we gotta make sure there's a little more clarity in that setup line. That's a pretty good joke. I know what you're trying to say. Let's clarify that a little bit. I might even do if I wanted to make sure they knew I was talking about stoners. I said a dating app for guys who like to sit in a circle and do nothing for hours. Sit in a circle is a little weird because it gives me a little like a circle jerk vibe. Sit on the
yeah.
couch, do nothing for hours. That would imply a stoner, right? Dating app for guys who like to sit on the couch and do nothing for hours. You've heard of Stonehenge. This one's called stonerhinge.com, right? Stonerhinge.com. So now we get where you're going with it. Stonerhinge, it makes it more clear so we don't have to sit there and go in our heads and figure out what you're trying to say. Maybe it's a little bit, plus I like the idea of seeing the stoner hinge. Now, let's see, how do they swipe? Do they swipe or just clear out the ball?
They just stoned a date.
Like, what do you do as they clean the pipe? What do stoners do? What are some of the technological unclog the pen?
They blow suck. Those are the two walks of life.
They what?
They either blow or they suck. That's the only two walks of life they have.
The stoners?
Yeah,
that's funny. Grindr was such a pain in the ass. My gay friend went to Tinder. That's good, Mandy. Nice. She clarified your joke, dude.
Yes, you did. That was really good.
Good job, Mandy. Give and take. Yeah. Wait a second. Is that the new name for Grindr?
Yeah, or I was thinking just like a dating app. Yeah, just in general, give and take.
I like it. That's good. It's good. Write that one. So that could be in relationships in general or dating. Dating, like if you were doing your list, look for the dissimilar ideas too. If you're going to find you have scams, that's a good dissimilar idea. But in this case, maybe we could even broaden out the concept of dating to relationships too. And then it's like a good dating name for a dating app that is a relationship dating app could be give and take. I like that idea, give and take. Like it's like because how many people have been in a relationship where relationships are supposed to be give and take, where they feel like you're just giving and you're not and they're taking.
Oh man, so many.
Right? So that could happen.
I
So
feel kind of
so you
guilty.
could
I
say,
was
man, I've been in so many relationships where there was, supposed to be give and take, and there's all just, one side is just giving and the other side is just taking. I've been in so many of those relationships, and I think that's the reason they broke up with me. Like, then you're the one that's the taker, right? So in the
yeah.
end, we sound like you're the complainer, but you're actually you wind up being the taker. It's just like saying that, every I lived in an apartment one time, every morning there was always this thumping aerobic music for like an hour and a half, every single morning. And it took 3 calls to the landlord for them to finally get me to stop. So it's like reversing who's doing it, I remember one time every morning, my neighbor would listen to Jay-Z at like 11, every just Jay-Z, and whether he liked it or not. So that's me
Mhm.
playing the music. So it's like in the end, there was a good little reverse there. I like that. I didn't see that to the end. That's a little like Chris Titus when he talks about his ex. Oh, pardon me. Sorry about that. What's like Chris Titus when he talks about his ex? Given the
Uh,
give and take thing?
no, no, no. That was a while ago. That was like 5 minutes ago. He put that in there.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
it was off of your. He put that in there somewhere around the time you were talking about how you gotta make sure the person you're attacking, like your ex, for example, that cheated on you, give a reason why you're, you know, doing cracking a joke on that person, like your
Right.
ex.
Yeah, you gotta have a reason.
That in
It's
there.
gotta be it's gotta be a, reason or recourse. You gotta have something. It's general storytelling, right? So it's like understanding how to tell a story, and it's like you gotta have the antagonist and protagonist. If you're attacking for no reason, we're going, "What the fuck is that all about? Who is this person? We don't even know her. Why would you call her a bitch so soon? We don't know her. Give us a reason. Make us wanna call her that name. She's such a person that's done." You remember Game of Thrones? Remember the King Joffrey, that little fucker? And it's like, we hated him so much because he kept doing this bad shit. We hated him so much they could have killed him in the most horrific way, which they did. And at the end, when they did that, what did we all do? Fuck yeah, kill that motherfucker because we hated him so much because they built him up to be such an antagonist. So in this
Oh,
case, the job as the storyteller is to build up that antagonism. My dating life is a joke in itself. What's the punchline?
the
Jack,
exist.
did you hear that?
Yeah, yeah. I got caught up by Mandy's comment. The existence of bullfrogs implies the existence of cuck frogs.
I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know what that means either, but
Rabbit,
that just threw me off. Hey,
rub it, rub it.
rub it, rub it, rub it, rub it. That's good. Yeah, yeah.
That's so
Frogs. They're
it's almost
always
like a
so
hashtag
sexual.
dad joke to me.
Who they
It's like when
talk,
you
they're
were
always
like, "You
saying
love it."
rub it, rub it, rub it,
It
rub it.
shows, right? Somebody
There
liked
we
it. That's
go.
Farmers Only is going bankrupt. Apparently, they couldn't compete with Family Reunion. Oh, that's funny. .com. That's funny, Keith. Good joke. That's good. Looking up some facts about the dating apps. Farmers Only is going bankrupt. And my dating life is a joke in itself. What's the punchline? That could be funny. You could say my dating life is a joke in itself. That is the punchline. My dating life is a punchline. Um, let's say stoner hinge rolls.
You puff or
Um,
pass. Stoner Hinge. You puff or pass.
they vape right.
Uh you vape right there. Yes,
That's
yes,
good.
yes. There you
All
go.
apps are scams. Anyone who participates most likely were babysat by an iPad with probably no social cues and using AI. The app needs a box, except in the selection box is a scratch and its sniff. It sounds like you're conflating several ideas, but I like each one of these could be separate ideas about that. All apps are scams type of thing. As he's on YouTube. That's funny when people say that. I love that. As he's probably on the YouTube app watching this, right? So it's like but it's like it also. What is like Tiap? What is your generation? Are you millennial, Gen Z, Boomer? Um, because I found like with Gen Z, there's this whole movement of people that are anti-technology, anti-corporation, anti capitalism, and it's like this sort of like general disdain for, you know, stuff. I like these, the subscription services, all of that stuff. I see this movement going on about this general dislike for that stuff, and I get it. Uh, the existence of bullfrogs implies the existence of cuck frogs. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
what you mean by that.
that was throwing me off. I was like, what
To
the hell?
verify they're a real person and not a robot. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay. A stoner hinge, you puff on a pass, you puff or pass.
I like the
You guys are on dating apps. I'm on deserts. Dating deserts.
uh, mm,
Dating apps on dating deserts, meaning I've heard of a cherry on top. I think these are referring to some of the jokes we're missing, right? And I was like, I'm not staying on top of the chat.
oh, that's okay. Well, I don't know what Mandy Moore was saying, but that's something popped up in my head, taking the simple truth of it. Why are you guys dating apps? You should be dating people.
Right, got it. That's good. I'm dating people. Fumble on dating. Oh, like Fumble, dating apps for blind people.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
I actually, true story. I was at a restaurant. And I actually sat right next to a double blind date, and both couples were blind.
Wow, that's very meta.
And then by the end of it, I'm just like eavesdropping. They don't see me eavesdropping on them. I'm sitting right next to them, just like listening. At the end of the date, when they all split up, they're like, "All right, I'll see you later." Well, you know what I mean.
Cake. Oh, she put desserts. All right, she just forgot the other S in deserts. So, or as like, and so she put desserts. Cleared it up. Okay, gotcha. So it's so funny. One of my students is a former military. He's a current. He retired as a colonel in the military, and he has a story about being in a firefight in Iraq. And so he was trying to make it funny, and we found the way to make it funny because he was a communications guy in Iraq, and he was talking about it being in a firefight, and then him reporting on their first firefight in the desert. And he said, no, it's the first time anybody's ever heard that story because when I filed that story, I spelled desert with two S's. So it's showing up on the chow menu rather than than actual the war menu when they're searching for reports. So in that kind of situation, it goes back to the beginning. It's a callback to the beginning, but don't misspell.
As
Don't
as a
spell
child, as a
desert with
kid,
West. People think you're talking about, you know, um,
question, random, and this is just my creativity going around crazy. But as a kid, did you ever have issues spelling out or making the subtle difference into knowing what desert and desert spells? Like,
what are you trying to say?
I don't know. Just based off of what Mandy Moore's, I don't know. I was just thinking about my time as a kid. I had issues with spelling certain things, and then I just went back in my flashback. I just felt like stressed out on like one of those like tests you're filling in these things, and like I just remember like, oh man, how do I spell dessert, or how do I not spell desert? Anyways, I went totally off
I think
topic.
a lot of people can relate to that. And then you can actually do a list of very common misspellings. Like what do people like occasionally, occasion, like what are the ones, plenty of fish oil. That's funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Dating app for old people with joint problems.
And that app would be called Jointed.
That's good. Yeah, like no, it's plenty of fish oil.
Oh, I get it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, thanks, Sean. Good to see you, man. Sean coming in there from New York, right? Sean LaFlock. And so we got Tony the Shark Baloney. Came back from walking my dog, missed so much. Jerry, you're the man. Right on. So
Speaking
thank.
of walking the dog, I gotta take my puppers to the vet.
So yeah, you got to take your puppers to the vet.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
I don't know what's going on. First, it's either her trait. What is it?
She has a collapsing trachea.
Collapsing trachea, or maybe it's a tooth issue. I don't know. But a few days ago, she like yipped at the fiance. Then a couple nights ago, she like yipped at me when I was trying to show her love and affection. I was like, oh man. And
Got some hurt going on.
yeah.
You got to go now because we already we did the
I know
hour.
we broke their new record. Woo!
No, last time we went 127.
Ah, son of a bitch nugget.
But we had some people showing up here today on the live. That was fun.
Yeah.
So that was let's do it again next week. And we may be doing like maybe one early in the day and then one late night
Yes.
writing, because I like to do that late night joke writing when people all over the world get in
Yeah.
early in the morning and do some stuff. And it's like, so this is a fun little riff a little bit on dating apps. A lot of people had some really good jokes. There was one I almost didn't get to, and I want to make sure I got to it. It was Solomon. He said, "I'm divorced, so I'm only on X."
That was good.
I like that. Sorry, that was a good one. Oh, I like that one.
Good app.
So nice. So good work, everybody. That was fun. Let's do this again. I really do like your next one's going to be next Wednesday or Thursday. I'll put it up on YouTube, and this time I hope YouTube doesn't delete it. This is what happened, and I'll give it a little promotion on there so it lets people know. I got an aggressive Havanese Cuban dog, an aggressive Cuban dog. I call him Tony Montana. That's funny. Call him Tony Montana. That's good. What if Eve had a dating app? Would it have
say good night to the bad puppy?
Would she have picked the snake? That's good. Look at the people getting creative now. Hey, thanks for the super chats. That's great. That'll help keep the lights on, right? Yeah. So appreciate that. I didn't even know that was available. Evidently, I clicked it or something.
Dating app subscription running.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun doing this, and let's do it again. We're going to do it again next week, probably Wednesday or Thursday. It'll show up in the in YouTube, and we'll be able to get to see a little premiere for it. So I enjoy you guys being having a great time with you guys being here, and we'll see you again next week. And take care, everybody. Say hello to my little friend. That was good. All right, bye.
Hello to my little pup.
We'll see you guys later.